Hello, my name's Paul,
Hi, my name's Rachel.
and we are the English Language Lab, and this is our Business English podcast, BizPod.
We're going to try to teach you everything you need to know about business English.
So, whether you need English for job hunting, presentations, meetings, or any other form of communication, you have come to the right place.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy BizPod. Hello, Paul.
Hi Rachel, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good.
I'd like to talk to you today about business English skills. Not business English, but business English skills.
Okay, well, why don't we start by you telling us what is the difference between business English and business English skills?
Okay, well, we've done a podcast before about the difference between English and business English,
Okay,
which was, I think, one of the very first ones we did.
probably.
I'll put the link in the information for everybody to have a loop back to that. Which is obviously, anyway, to recap, the difference between English and business English is business English has a certain set of vocabulary and you will apply it to certain business situations.
Okay.
But the difference between business English and business English skills is once you know English quite well and you know business English very well, you then want to use it to your advantage, as in learning how to persuade people, learning how to influence people, learning how to negotiate, learning how to sell, learning how to apologize, give feedback, do interviews. It's all those abilities to do your absolute best with your English, but not necessarily related to the grammar, but more related to how you say things, how you phrase things. Your choice of words is very precise and purposeful.
Okay. So it's about communication in
Yeah.
those situations where maybe you're giving a presentation or a job interview, or I don't know, just sort of, generally sort of chatting with your team or with your boss. It's about how you communicate, would you say?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's generally chatting. I would say no to that. It's communication with a purpose. You've got a specific goal. You've got a specific thing you want to achieve. That's what I would say is business English skills, because anybody who learns English can then learn the vocabulary for business English, but can they make it work to their advantage? Can they be a success, a winner? And that's what business English skills are. I mean, for native speakers, you can take out the English and just title it business skills. Even native speakers need to learn these skills. But I think it's even more important for language learners, because they might be very advanced English speakers, but absolutely rubbish in terms of getting what they want in the workplace.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So it's not just about learning English and learning business English. It's about utilizing the knowledge that you have to do something purposeful with it.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds intriguing. So why do you want to talk about that today anyway?
Because we like to focus on it. Because I think it's a very important step for language learners, especially business English language learners. They get to a certain point and they think, well, I know all the grammar, I know lots of vocabulary, I can say what I want, but I'm still not getting the results I want. They're still not happy or satisfied at work, and they don't understand why. They keep thinking there's a problem with their English. They come to see an English teacher and the English teacher says, oh, you've got very advanced level English. No, there's no problem with your English. No, it's their business skills they've got a problem with in English. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right, because I think I've had experience with a lot of students who are good, or maybe even very good, or even excellent communicators in their own native language. But when they're in a situation where they have to give a presentation or communicate in English, it seems like all of their previous experience, skills, and knowledge sort of goes out the window.
Yeah.
And 100% of their focus is purely on using the correct words in English rather than Communicating.
Yes, exactly. Exactly that. Yeah. So they know those skills, and sometimes our job is to help them refocus their attention on the goals and objectives of the task in hand rather than focusing on the words and the grammar. Or sometimes, especially with sales and negotiating, people don't always know those skills. Even native speakers take sales training, don't they?
Yeah,
Or
of course, yeah.
or feedback, how to give good feedback. There's lots of courses on that. But, for second language learners, I think they just need that extra push to make sure their focus is in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
What about
Yeah.
you? What sort of business skills training did you have personally when you were professional?
Yeah. Well, quite a lot, really. I suppose interviewing people
Mm-hmm.
and learning how to ask questions to gain the information that you want.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that I probably had a lot of training in.
Mm-hmm.
In my early career, I worked in recruitment. One of the jobs there was to ask questions of people about their
Mm-hmm.
jobs, about their lives,
Mm-hmm.
and to probe people for information.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get good at asking questions, then you can use that in all other areas of your life, of your
Mm-hmm.
job as you progress.
Mm-hmm. And then what about sales? Because you went into sales, didn't you?
Yeah. I had some sales training. I suppose I had needed sales training because I didn't really know how to sell. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I had some sales training. I'm trying to think of other training courses that I've done.
I had a fabulous one on how to deal with difficult people.
Ah,
It was a
okay.
whole day, and it was really good.
What did you learn on how to deal with difficult people?
Always apologize, whether it's your fault or not, because they want to hear an apology.
Hmm.
If they're really angry, let them explode like a volcano. Don't try and interrupt or stop them, because you can't stop lava exploding from a volcano. Just let it all out till they've exhausted it all. Then the first thing you do is you apologize, whether it's your fault or not. And then you should work together to help trying to find the solution. Yeah,
Okay.
don't promise them anything. Don't promise them that you're going to solve it, because you might not be able to, but promise them that you're going to try and help. That's all they really want to hear. But mostly
Okay.
difficult people are angry people, and it's because something's gone wrong. And
Hmm.
they're in front of you, and they're just cross. They just want to offload.
Yeah. And you happen to be the person in the way who gets offloaded
Exactly.
on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay.
Mhm. I did some management training, some team leadership training. I did business analyst training. I did some working on how to work on projects, project
Okay.
leadership.
I
Uh,
think you've done more formal training in those areas than I have. I think one of
yeah,
the things that's particularly lacking in business, I think, is management training, how to lead people, how to manage people, and how to maybe motivate people.
yeah. Well, when I joined the insurance company, I was on a graduate leadership program thing where we had 2 years and we went through certain sets of different types of training. So that
Mhm.
was pretty good. But yeah, I mean, if you just join a particular department in one particular job, you might not necessarily get any additional training with it. Whereas for me, it was 2 years of absolute dedicated. You do this course and you move to this course and you move to that course. I mean, I did all Excel and Access, loads of Microsoft Access coding and training, which drove me crazy, as you well know. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but it was interesting though, wasn't it? It's an
Mm,
interesting skill to learn. More of a
mm,
technical skill than a business skill, but
mm.
interesting training. Yeah.
Okay, all right. But
Okay.
um what about the key skills you think? I mean, if you had to choose two or maybe three areas where advanced English learners should focus their business skills training, what would you say
Mhm.
those three areas would be?
Okay, interesting. Well, I think most people need to learn how to communicate.
Mm-hmm. So you're talking basically communicate being the umbrella term, the area of communication, but then, do they need to learn to influence people, persuade people, lead people?
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
communication would be number one.
Okay. All right. What would be another one?
Well, I'm thinking negotiation.
Absolutely, because we all need to negotiate more money, to have the holidays we want, to get the new position in a job we want. And the
Okay.
third one would be
Presentations.
absolutely, because you need to demonstrate that you are an expert in your area, that you know how to talk about the numbers,
Hmm.
you know how
Yeah.
to talk about the money.
Yeah, yeah. It's not just numbers and money, but presentation. It's a skill. Presenting information, whether it's numbers or information, it is a skill. And yeah, if it maybe it sort of falls within the remit of communication, but it's a different skill, I
It's
think.
different. I think it's more about strategy because you're usually looking on how things went in the past, how things now, planning for the future. It's
Yeah,
planning, strategy, key objectives of the business, the department, where are you going? What's your objectives? It's a different mindset, I think. It
yeah,
needs to be a section on its own. So communication skills, negotiation skills, and presentation skills, all as umbrella terms for individual elements underneath.
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good.
Okay.
So, top advice for people out there, go out and make sure you focus on your business English skills,
Skills.
not just your business English.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All
Once
right.
you've mastered business English, that's when you need to move on to improving your skills, how you use what you've learned in specific situations to communicate,
Yeah.
to negotiate.
Till you get to the level of being the CEO, then you can take a nice big golden handshake, leave the company, and go off on your yacht.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Oh,
Definitely.
okay.
Yeah,
You got a long time to wait.
I know. One day I'll be the CEO. I'll get a golden handshake and I'll buy a $10 million yacht.
Right. Okay. Until then, bye, Paul.
Bye.